Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the SketchCast podcast. This is episode 2, and totally not the 4th time I'm recording this intro. We are the #1 podcast in the world. My name's K.O. You can find me at Here Comes K.O. on all platforms, and
my name is Milky. You can Milky Tomato. You can find me at milky.tomato on all platforms as well.
Hell yeah. So here we are. We are back, episode 2. That's pretty big. We were consistent enough to actually get 2 episodes. That's crazy.
I'm so proud of us.
So proud. And for our topic, we have finding your style, which I feel like is something every artist with more than 100 followers gets asked regularly.
100%. It's either that or when did you start drawing?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I don't mind getting the question, but when you get it 100 times over.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna make a video about it. There we go.
Exactly. So that's what we're here to answer. We will, in depth, in detail, answer all your questions, all your theories, all your conspiracy theories about finding your style. Woo!
This goes from being an art podcast to being a conspiracy theory podcast.
We need to do an episode on art conspiracy theories, because there's some wild ones.
Like what? I can't even think of something off the top of my head.
One of my favorite ones is just talking about the underground art world of stolen art and whatnot. I did a whole paper on Michelangelo at one point. There is somewhere in the world a 9-foot tall statue of Hercules that Michelangelo did that just kind of disappeared one day, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we lost it." Huh?
Oh my gosh!
You lost it?
Actually. No.
It
happens.
That would be a fun episode.
That'd be sick.
But anyway, Milky, would you like to define art styles?
Okay, so I would define an art style as an individual's way of expressing themselves through their art. And it's going to be unique for everyone. That's why everyone has their own art style. And some people have consistent art styles where it's you look at it and you're like, ah, yes, it's another Milky Tomato piece. And then sometimes you look at it and you're like, what the frick is this? I don't know what this is, and I don't know who made it. Exactly. I like to chill right in between there of oh yes, it's a Milky Tomato ghost. And also what is that bloody little thing right there? Also next to the cute ghost. I try to keep people guessing. Never let them know your next move. That's how I am with my art style.
Don't have an art style. That's the best way to do it.
Exactly. Because there's pros and cons to having an art style. Sometimes it comes naturally, but sometimes it can hold you back from trying new things. So I like to stay in a nice middle area of drawing, and it ends up looking the same sometimes because it's because I'm making it, and then sometimes I just do whatever because I can. That's art.
I think that's the best spot to be, is somewhere in the middle. Because you're absolutely right. I actually wrote this down as a point for later, but sometimes I think people get too stuck up on having a style, and because of that they hold themselves back from doing other things or trying new things because they just try and stay in their style. And I know I at one point kind of fell into that where there was a certain way I would do faces, and because of that I wouldn't try anything new really, and I got stuck in a terrible same face syndrome. Oh my gosh, it was bad. I'm still recovering from that war, but I fought in the same face syndrome war.
Gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Going back to the definition, I like to define art style as sort of a combination of every shortcut you find, honestly. At least that's what I've found.
100%.
Yeah, that's what I've found my art style to be, is it just, it's going to be everything that you love about certain art styles, and it's also going to be, avoiding certain things that you dislike. For me, I hate line art. Absolutely hate it. So I tend to, make sketchier line art, or almost take, a sketch tool and then just do a slightly cleaner sketch over my regular sketch and then call that line art.
Yeah, just carve away at it. Make some kind of line art out of it.
Yeah, because I hate just sitting down and doing really nice, really pristine line work. It looks amazing when people can do that, but my little ADHD brain does not have the patience at all.
Totally get that. Yeah, I have a habit of like whenever I get my sketch, if I go straight into the line art, I just lose motivation. But if I just like color the sketch to see what the possible like final outcome could look like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want that to exist. So I like finish the line art, and then I try to play around with the line art because I wanted to.
It can be fun.
Make it fun, and I try to make it fun, but sometimes it's just pain. And then but then once I get the line art done, I color. And okay, coloring line art is like my favorite thing.
I do ever. Really like doing that.
Yeah, clipping mask. Love that thing. I love the clipping mask in digital art. It's heavenly.
I can't believe I didn't like always know what that was, and I used to just say like, "Screw it, we ball," and like just go for it.
Yeah, watching like digital art speed paints to where they would get to the point where they just like color within the drawing with clipping mask or with like alpha lock. I was like, my mind was blown. I'm like, how do you do that? But I was just drawing on my phone. Like I didn't have those types of.
You used to draw on your phone?
Oh yeah, I'll have to show you some of my old Steven Universe art. It's on my list of like inspirations and stuff that led to me drawing and like my art style, Steven Universe. And I have so many drawings of my Steven Universe OCs that I did with my finger on my tiny phone.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's go over to that. What were your like biggest inspirations that led to your style?
Okay, so for context, we're going back to 8th grade little me.
Oh god.
Little 8th grade Milky.
Oh god.
And
everyone run.
No, 8th grade. I know. Dude, 8th grade, middle school can be real rough. You just like...
True.
I was having my existential crisis in middle school of like, what am I going to do with my life? Who am I?
In 8th grade?
Is it even worth it? Wait, what?
In 8th grade?
Oh, yeah. Dude, I was such an anxious little ball of just anxiety. No, I know. I was just constantly like trying to know what my next move would be so that I couldn't mess up. Just, like that's just how my brain works.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And so I had drawn my whole life, but like I wasn't great. I just doodled. But in 8th grade, I was like, man, I really need to do something with my life. I'm in 8th grade and I'm not doing anything.
That's the whole point of 8th grade.
I know. Literally, it's like, dude, you're a child. Chill out.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
I know. Looking back at it, it's like, you stupid little kid. You're stressing out over nothing. But to the year prior, I was in art class, and my teacher really liked the stuff I was making, and she was like, do you want to be in advanced art? And I was like, yes. Oh my gosh. I feel so cool. I'm in advanced art. And so 8th grade, like first week, I'm in advanced art. Everyone is insanely good. I suck because, I'm not that great. But I'm at this table alone because I just always sat alone. I didn't have many friends at this time. But this one girl comes over. She's like, I'd seen her before and I knew her as like just the cool girl. She had purple glasses and like a galaxy backpack and just like a big sketchbook. It's all like, thick and chunky,
Uh-huh.
And she comes and sits down next to me and she keeps trying to talk to me. And I literally just like, I don't really respond because I'm antisocial. I know. She's probably like, what the frick is her problem? What's wrong with her? And she finishes her project early and she opens her sketchbook and it's literally like, it felt like it was in slow motion and it was like, oh, like she opened her sketchbook and it was full of just colors and characters and just like, she drew people and stuff and she was amazing at it. And I just was like, I actually like started talking to her. I was like, what is that? Can I see your sketchbook, please? And she was like, yeah, sure. And so I flipped through and I kid you not, I like looked up to her as like god of art. I was like, can you please teach me? She literally started teaching me how to draw people and she would make me worksheets and stuff. And she would be like, here's how I draw hair. Here's like different ways you can learn to draw hair. And like, here's some tips and stuff I've learned. And like, here's how to draw like faces and heads and torsos and legs and arms. So my first art style was very reminiscent of hers because she taught me through her art style. And I'll have to send you some art of her art and my old art, and you'll definitely be able to see it.
Dude, give us the tag. Give the people the tag.
Tag?
Yeah, like her Instagram handle.
Oh! No, yeah, I got you. I mean, I know it's gavela.png, but I also want to double check and make sure I'm not crazy.
Yeah, can you spell that?
Yeah. Let me pull it up.
Can you spell?
Yeah,
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
No, I cannot. It's GAVALA.PNG.
Awesome.
Please follow them. They are just so amazing.
Absolutely.
Right. Oh shoot, they messaged me. I gotta.
Continuing the downhill streak of the SketchCast podcast. Every episode, we become more and more unhinged and detached from our own podcast.
For real. I literally just started texting back someone mid-podcast.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, yeah, so their art, her art was just the beginning of my art journey. And
hell yeah.
Yeah, for real. And then I became good friends with her, and she introduced me to the wonderful world of Steven Universe. And I mean, I had an idea of what it was. Like, on the school computers, they had a lot of stuff that was blocked, but they wouldn't have any, like, TV show clips blocked. So I just watched, like, Adventure Time and Steven Universe clips on loop. And so I had seen a good amount of Steven Universe clips in my time, but I finally sat down and watched it because of her. Because she showed me her OCs, and I was like, what do you mean you can watch a show and then make characters inspired by the show? That's insane. What do you mean you can, like, draw yourself as a character in the show, or, like, draw yourself as a witch, or, like, anything you want? I was starting to comprehend the power of art, and, like, the power of, if you can draw it, it can be real to you in a way, you know?
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, it was amazing. And so, like, my 8th grade brain exploded. That's the beginning, like, origins of me finding my art style, because art style became everything to me, because I didn't know how to draw that well, but I, like, felt like I had a head start with all the tips she was giving me. So I was like, I gotta figure out how to apply these to my own style. And so I got hooked on Steven Universe. I made a bunch of gemstonas. I made my first OCs ever. And, like, that's the raw beginnings of me finding my art style. It's through my friend and through Steven Universe.
That's amazing.
Woo!
Any other, like, big style inspos, or are those the main two?
Definitely got some more. I got, do you know Crydia?
No, what is that?
Artist. I think they go by they, them. Crydia. It's, Cry, D-I-A-A. They made animation memes, and they had, like, the trippiest OCs and world building I had ever seen. It reminded me a lot of Bee and Puppy Cat, but, like, crazier, which Bee and Puppy Cat was also a huge inspiration for me, just, like, not that early on. But Crydia had, like, a way of just putting colors and different, I don't even know how to explain it. Just, like, their way of coloring mesmerized me so much, and the way they had such, like, a free flow to their art, it just, like, was so inspiring to me. So I was like, I need this in my life. And that's around the time I got my first digital art tablet for my computer. And so, yeah, for real. And so they posted digital art every day. And so a lot of my art started to look...
Oh my god.
They were crazy. And so I was like, you know what? I could post art every day as well. And I literally, like, unintentionally posted a fully finished drawing, digital art drawing on my Instagram every day for a month. And I didn't realize I did that until, like, a month and a half later. And I was like, wow, I've been posting a fully finished illustration every day by accident. I was just so, like, inspired and just full of, like, full of motivation. I was like, rah, stay going.
That's wild. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine doing, like, one every single day. I think my brain would explode. Or my hand.
Inktober. Impossible.
Oh my gosh. Dude, can we talk about Inktober for a minute? Because that put me in the worst art block I had ever gotten. I'm not even joking.
Every freaking year! Every year.
Oh my gosh.
Every year it did that to me too.
I like got halfway through it like 2 years in a row, but then like I just never finished it. But then the one year that I did like fully finish it, because I decided to make it like part of my, like, art school project, or not art school, but, like, high school art class, like, final project. It gave me an art block for months.
Same.
And I don't get art blocks. Like, I get, like, week-long art blocks tops. This gave me an art block for months. It was so bad.
Did I ever tell you about the Inktober where I did Witchtober and Goretober at the same time?
Yo, I did Witchtober.
Oh my gosh, it was so fun. But I was like, I'm gonna fill 2 pages every day for a month. I'll have a witch page and a gore page every day for a month.
Girl.
You know how many days I did?
I'm putting my money on 5.
22.
Well, you did better than I thought.
I was mad cracked, but man, I did not draw for like 2 months after that.
For real. Yeah, there was
me.
The one year I did, I don't think I did regular Inktober, but I did Witchtober, and then I made my own, which was Herotober, which was just like a superhero themed one. I still have some of those posts like up on my Instagram, but I deleted most of them, honestly.
What?
But yeah, that wore me out. I didn't even finish my own.
Why'd you delete it?
I delete posts like pretty often. I won't even lie.
Do you archive them or do you delete them?
Delete it.
It's like your art history, dog. Why would you do that?
I know, and it looks bad, so I delete it.
It's like throwing away a sketchbook.
Which I've done before. No, I'm kidding. I've never done that.
Oh my gosh, thank goodness. My sister has done that. She threw away like all of her middle school stuff because she thought it was cringe, but I'm like,
no, it's funny.
You're gonna want to look at that. Exactly, you're gonna want to look at that and laugh at that in like 2 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm. My oldest posts are like 2019, like the original Spider Sona stuff, because I actually ended up doing like a full comic. I think it had like 20 pages. And I posted all the pages, but I deleted all of them but the first one because I was like, I'm never finishing this.
No, you're like, I just won't even leave them on.
They're probably still on my computer somewhere, but yeah, I haven't.
Oh,
I've not touched that. And also, she got an upgrade, and she looks so much better.
And you literally have her fit now.
I do, because I just gave her my fit, and I was like,
yeah. You're like, and then you made the shirt.
I did make the shirt. My style came from definitely like a lot of anime. You can definitely see that influence. Like I talked about it briefly in the last episode, but big inspiration was like Pokemon, Sailor Moon, like a lot of early anime shows. So that definitely transferred over into my style, especially with like the like very sort of slim body types, like Sailor Moon-esque, and just very big eyes, like tiny nose. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Who's the best sailor?
Oh, you can't ask me that. Okay, so I
just did.
I had oh my god, I had such a crush on Mars, but my personal favorite was Jupiter. I think just because she looked the most like me.
Oh, gotcha.
So I think she was my favorite because of that. Or she wasn't even like necessarily my favorite. Like I really liked Venus and Sailor Moon. Yeah, they're both so cute, but I really liked Jupiter because she kind of looked like me. Venus. But Jupiter is tall and has brown hair. We love those girls. We love me.
I feel like I've asked you this, but how tall are you?
5'8". How tall are you, Milky?
Yes.
Milky?
Yes.
5'2".
I'm crying like I'm so short. I'm 5'5.5".
That's not bad.
Everyone around me is so tall, so I
funny.
feel so short in comparison. But you know what?
I can be taller if I want. I have platform boots.
I say that all the time. I'm like, you know what? Being short is like a superpower. I can become tall on command if I so wish.
Yeah, it's probably easier to like get around the house too. You can just like hop on a little fly and like, you know, take it wherever.
Dude, free ride.
Yeah.
No problems.
You don't even have to buy a legit car. You can just get a remote control one.
Real. Oh my gosh. Oh, life's so easy when you're short.
But I do have like Demonia platform boots that make me 6'3", and they're so powerful.
Yeah, I got dock platforms that make me like 5'8".
Let's go. You're my height. Oh my gosh.
I'm on your level. Yeah.
I only wear high heels, so I'm that much closer to God.
I have no high heels. They scare me.
They're kind of annoying. I've only worn them to fancy events, and even then I usually end up taking them off. So
it would hurt. So sorry to interrupt you talking about Sailor
you're good.
Moon. I was just like, gotta know who's the best one.
I think I interrupted myself by talking about my height.
Oh, no, it's all good.
Let's see. Yeah, man, Sailor Moon. That's it. That's the podcast. Good night, everyone. No. So, yeah, when I was talking earlier about how kind of your style is going to be a combination of, like, everything you love, for me, what I really, really loved was animation and comics, and specifically anime, or at least that's what it was at the time, but knowing I wanted to do animation and comics, I really kind of honed in on making things more like simplistic and easier to draw so that it would be easier to like move around. Like there weren't as many moving parts to worry about if I was doing animation or keeping up with the character in a comic, and, you know, like just kind of making things more simple for myself. Because also I really enjoyed like simplicity in styles. Like I really, really liked anime styles, but anime tends to get like really, really complicated sometimes. And I always gravitated towards when things were like more simplistic, where like, you know, like some of those like older Cartoon Network styles where like if a girl has a skirt, it kind of just like stops where the leg line is. Like,
right.
Like simplistic things like that where it's like really nice shapes and like symmetry, like all that really, really appeals to me. So I definitely put a lot of that into my style. But yeah, things like like big sparkly eyes and like little skirts and stuff, like there's definitely a lot of anime influence in my style. Fun fact, by the way, I found out the other day that like anime is not meant to look like Western people or Japanese people. It's meant to look like cats. Yeah, which is so funny. Dude, it makes so much sense.
5 people about that.
Yeah.
I keep asking my friends, like, dude, did you know that anime
did you know?
Like cats?
Yeah.
I swear, as soon as you started speaking that sentence, I knew exactly what you were going to say.
It's so funny.
Changed my,
it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense.
Really does. Really does.
Especially with like the side profiles of anime.
Yeah. Like the eyes and the nose.
Wild.
I can't stop thinking about it. So it's so funny that you brought that up. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man. So animation, comics, simplicity, and also putting movement into art. I really, really like doing that, though that's more for illustration, I suppose. That's another thing. Oh my gosh, when trying to find your style, here, we can pivot into like how you actually find your style now, because this is a good transition.
Gotcha.
You want to like make sure you're actually doing what you want to do, if that makes sense. Like as soon as I realized I wanted to do comics and animation, I immediately switched to that. Like I wasn't trying to learn like all the itty bitty details of like illustration and like how to make lighting look super realistic, because obviously that stuff's going to be so important. Like if you don't know the basics of lighting, then even your cartoon lighting is going to look really funky. But like you don't need to learn like all those itty bitty details, or at least you don't need to apply those details to like every art that you're going for. Especially, I feel like I sound insane, but
no, you're good. It's the artist way.
Yeah. We're all a bit. Yeah. Anyway,
we're all a bit.
No, looks over at medication. No, no, I'm kidding. Mostly. So like if you want to go into like animation or something, then don't be like spending all of your time practicing like still life drawings and whatnot. Things like figure drawing can be so useful for that, because you're learning the movement, like how people move, how people stand, like things like that. But like doing like still life paintings, that's not gonna apply itself nearly as much to what you want to go for. So when you are practicing art, it's so important to like keep in mind what you want the end goal to be, I guess.
Yeah, like you said earlier at the beginning of the podcast, where it's like your style is kind of like all the little bibs and bobs of like art hacks you
shortcuts.
Learn.
Yeah.
Exactly, shortcuts. Like they come together and like boom, you get your art style eventually. I 100% agree with that. Like whenever someone asks me like, how do I find my art style, or how did you find your art style? I always tell them like, find your like main inspirations. Like for me, it was like Steven Universe and Bee and Puppy Cat and Crydia and Genshin Ninja OWO. And I would find things in their art styles that like stood out the most to me. Where it's like, I'm trying to think of an example. It's like in Steven Universe, I love the dynamic shapes of all the characters and the colors and stuff. So I really wanted to implement that into my art style. And then there's stuff like Crydia. I loved Crydia's way of drawing hair. And then Genshin Ninja, I love how expressive they draw the faces and stuff. And I'm like, I love specific ways they would draw noses and like little face wrinkles and stuff. And my friend Gavela, I loved how she drew like these little loops in people's hair, or like when she drew characters' hair, or like little straight hairs. And I would like gather all these little things and just hodgepodge it into my own style. And I would just experiment with like different types of combinations, like different head shapes or different head sizes, like face shapes and eyes, like, and like different ways of like drawing these, like different orders, I guess. Like, should I draw the head first or the body first or like the eyes first? Like, it's different for everyone. And like, it can come down to those little things where it's like, depending on like where I start my drawing, it might be just my thing, part of my art style. So like whenever people ask me that, like, how'd you find your art style? I just say like, find little things in your favorite art styles and try hodgepodging it in different ways.
I was gonna say that's such a good word to use. The word hodgepodge is like a perfect descriptor of art style because it's gonna be like a combination of, again, shortcuts, but then also everything you love. And going back to shortcuts, I realized recently that one of the big inspirations for me is I really got into Star versus the Forces of Evil. I loved that show and I loved the style of it too. So I started doing my eyes like that, where I would just draw a circle and then another circle in it. But then after a while, I realized I wasn't liking how that turned out nearly as much as when I did like kind of just like the top part of the eye, like the eyelash line, and then doing like a little oval underneath. And then if it was something fancier, then I would fill out the rest. But making something like simplistic like that definitely altered my style. I don't know when I found that. That was like a year or two ago when I started doing eyes like that. But yeah, sketching is another big part of it, because when you sketch, you tend to do things a lot more simplistically. Like, you're not worrying about like a really fancy angle. So I think like just sketching a lot will really help people find their style.
Definitely.
Hell yeah. Do your warm-up drawings, do your sketchings. Sorry, I just interrupted you. Go for it.
No, you're all good, you're all good. My whole life, I had a family friend who was also an artist. He was like a professional artist. And he always told us, draw for the trash. And
yes.
I didn't understand it or appreciate it at the time, but like now I'm like, that's what you have to do to like grow and try new things, but also like fail fast. You want to try as much stuff, and if it doesn't work, that's okay, because you're still learning from it.
Exactly.
You draw for the trash, like it's not actually for the trash. It's for your like mental archive of like figuring out how to draw things.
Yes.
It's like in every like 10 sketches, like you're probably not going to change it all. But with every like 500 sketches, you'll find like, I don't know, for me, maybe like 3 to 5 little things that'll change my art style for the long term. Like sometimes it's just like, oh my gosh, I've never drawn this face angle before, but I love how the nose looks and how the eye angles turned out with that. I'm going to keep doing that, and I'll like keep that in my little mental reserve, because when you accidentally do that, it just like sticks with you.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy smokes, that's the coolest thing ever. And then you just like, you practice more and more and it sticks with you. But you wouldn't have never known if you hadn't kept drawing for the trash and just kept drawing and drawing and drawing until like burn out.
Yeah.
Don't burn out. Don't burn out. I'm not encouraging you burn out.
It'd be funny.
You to
do it for the bit.
I encourage you to... No. I encourage you to draw and draw and draw, so that you can get better, because that's literally the only way. You gotta keep drawing and drawing.
Make a ton of art. Always keep a sketchbook on you. That's another huge tip. Is just anytime you're bored. I mean, I'm even guilty of this, where sometimes I just don't care and I put on like a YouTube video or something on my phone, but like bringing just a sketchbook with me and like a couple pens and then popping in some music while I sit down in the car or at a restaurant, like just keep a sketchbook on you, especially if it's like it doesn't even have to be a nice one. It can just be like a tiny little sort of travel sketchbook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Travel books. I highly recommend people have like, sorry, let me backtrack a little bit. It's like so common for people to have like really colorful, clean sketchbooks. And in that case, we really shouldn't call them sketchbooks. They should be like art books or something. But like, I highly recommend people to have 2 sketchbooks. You got one for like your big finished pieces and like really nice clean art. And then you got your actual raw sketchbook for all of the nitty gritty sketches, for like planning stuff out for the nice sketchbook and for like trying new things to grow your art style and grow as an artist. Because you're going to grow so much more from that rough sketchbook than from that cleaned up sketchbook, in my opinion.
Or just shove them both into the same sketchbook.
Or do that. No, yeah. I mean, like, for me,
that's what I
do that. It freaks me out.
Really?
I can't do that myself. Oh, yeah. Like, I guess the whole 2 sketchbook things is, like, definitely for people that feel too stressed out with having one sketchbook, because they're like, it needs to be perfect, and I can't mess up. And
dang.
Like,
see, I think the messy stuff is cute.
Huh?
I think the messy stuff is cute, and then if I really, really hate something, then I'll just cover it up with, like, another piece of paper or a sticky note.
Totally. And then it gets nice and chunky, and there's just, like, tons of layers, and it's like, this is awesome.
Love a thick sketchbook.
Me too.
I love my sketchbooks, so like, I love... Never mind.
Yes? What?
Anyway, another tip I have... Sorry. I need. I completely like shut my brain off for that one. Another big tip with finding your style is to experiment. Too many people will get too focused on like all the little tiny details of what they want to do. Make sure you're experimenting with your art. Like if there's a certain way you do like legs or like faces or hair, but then you see someone else like do hair a different way that you really, really like, go for it. Try that style, because I guarantee your style's always going to be changing, and you're always going to find like new ways that you enjoy more, because that's the other thing. You want to make sure you enjoy your style. So I also really love when I do like simpler hair, but then just kind of scribble stuff on top of it. That, oh my gosh, I love sort of like, I call it scribble rendering. It doesn't have an actual name. It's just what I like to do, where I do my basic shading, but then instead of doing like any like nice rendering like some Photoshop illustrators will do, I just take like the sketch pen and quite literally scribble lighting on top of my drawing, and I love doing it. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it is fun, and it's just like fun and messy, and just I totally get it. I love doing that too.
Yeah. Also, going off of that last point of like taking from other styles, get a Pinterest. Honest to God, like Pinterest was the best thing I ever did to myself.
Me too. Yeah, I meant to say that. Yeah, having a Pinterest when I was like first learning how to draw people, I would literally sit like at my bed and draw for 2 hours based off like random references I found on my Pinterest before I go to bed every night.
Oh, that's so smart. That's how I do my warm-up sketches. I always like scroll through Pinterest and like find a couple like IRL photos to turn into my style, and that's how I do my warm-ups.
It's so fun. I have a whole refs folder of like couples, and I'm like, okay, can you do a warm-up sketch? Let me draw my favorite OC couple and just being cute.
Oh my gosh. That's so fun. Yeah. Oh, the other thing, this is actually something that one of my really, really old art teachers, not old in age, sorry, like just older art teacher, or well, that sounds just as bad. Anyway, art teacher I had. I'm sorry?
Seasoned. Like, you know, there's
seasoned art teacher?
You know, like, it's like a way you say old or, you know, classic or something.
What?
I don't know.
Is this a common phrase?
You've never heard someone say, like, oh, they're seasoned at this? Like, seasoned
no.
At that. They're a seasoned artist.
No.
You've never heard that?
No.
Are you gaslighting me? Is this not a thing?
I'm literally not gaslighting you. Is this like a North versus South thing? No, you're not even from the North.
I'm not. I'm from the South.
We're East and West Coast, though. That might be it.
I'm very Texan. Let me look this up. I gotta make sure I'm not crazy.
It probably... Listen, here's the other entirely possible possibility. I might just be stupid.
Boom! Accustomed to particular conditions. Experienced.
Dang
I'm
it.
not crazy.
Dang it, I'm just stupid.
She's a seasoned traveler. I'm not crazy.
To absolutely no one's surprise, I'm just stupid.
We both have a nice, healthy balance of stupid. That's why we're doing this podcast together.
And that's why we're here. Neither of us had a full brain cell, so together, we made one.
Boom. It balances out.
And I live by that. Anyway, back to... Oh! We were talking about my old... not old, whatever, seasoned art teacher. He told me to never put your own art on your wall because then you're going to end up repeating that art. And, like, if you have mistakes on there, you're going to be repeating those same mistakes of your art, like,
oh my gosh,
into future art. So he always told me if you ever put stuff on your wall, make sure it's, like, artwork that you really admire and artwork that, like, really inspires you, because then you're going to, like, subconsciously put that into your own art without even realizing it.
It's so real, because every time I would, like, go back and, like, surf through my old art for, like, nostalgic purposes, the moment after I would start drawing, I would revert to, like, all of my old art styles and, like, no, please, no! Or, like, yeah, exactly. I would just start by sketching the circle for the head, start the face shape, and I'm like, no, please, no. Oh, gosh, no.
Oh, my God.
And I totally get that.
Artist purgatory.
Exactly.
This is another thing that I feel like is pretty obvious, but I will sometimes fall into the trap, and I see other artists do this sometimes. This is specifically for, like, online artists who, you know, post consistently. Don't let numbers determine what you post or what you draw.
Yeah.
Because I see, like, just don't base what you want to do off of what people will like more or what people will buy. Like, if you have one post that does, like, really, really well, it's totally fine to, like, replicate it. But don't, like, keep replicating something if you're not happy with it. Because the whole point of art is to, like, enjoy your work, enjoy what you do. And so if you start basing things around what other people will enjoy, like, or buy, then you're gonna end up making yourself miserable, and that's no fun. And it can be kind of scary to, like, change gears sometimes. I see this especially for, like, fandom artists who will, like, draw a lot for one fandom, and then they kind of grow out of that fandom and they start drawing something else. And sometimes they'll, like, even start a completely new account, which, you know, totally fine. Like, if they want to do that, absolutely go for it. But honestly, like, just switching gears, people are gonna end up unfollowing no matter what, because some people just get bored. But if you think about it, like, if someone was gonna unfollow you just for that, like, it's probably not one of the followers you really wanted anyway. Like,
Right.
It almost sounds like kind of mean saying that. I hope it's not coming across like that. But, you know, your audience will find you. Like, the audience that you really care about, the audience that's going to really care about your work will find you no matter what you change to. So, you know, don't worry about, like, making stuff just for people online. Make what you love, and then people will also love it.
100%. Because there's totally a difference between, like, a follower that's following because they like the characters you're drawing, and there's someone following because they like your art style and, like, what you made. Because, like, I totally understand. That's one of the biggest fears I had, because, like, whenever I was first starting my small business, I wanted to do a mix of my art and fan art, but then I had a lot of friends of mine that made only fan art stuff, like, because, you know, fandoms range in popularity. It goes up and down, and then, like, you know, same with the audience. And so, like, it's a lot more inconsistent when you only stick to fan art. If you want to do that, that's awesome. 100% go for it. But like, yeah, people will come and go because that's just how people are if they're following you because of the show you're drawing art of and not because of your art.
Mm-hmm. Just make sure you're enjoying what you do. That's the big thing.
Yeah, do it because you want to do it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, one last big thing for finding your style is give yourself time. Don't worry about like trying to find a style immediately because I promise if you don't worry about it, you will have a style before you even realize it. Like just draw what you love, draw what you really enjoy. Like even for me, I didn't even like realize I had a style until later on. Of course, I wasn't online much when I started art, so I didn't really even know what a style was. I just started drawing anime because that's what I loved, and then I slowly started like mixing my sort of anime style with Western styles, and it's been about the same ever since. So let yourself grow. Don't rush into things. I promise you will enjoy the process much more if you just kind of relax and enjoy what you draw.
Yeah. With the flow, man.
Hell yeah. That was my last big tip. Milky, do you have any big things?
For last big tip? Let me think. Use my brain.
Oh, this is a smaller one, but sorry, Milky.
You're good. Take your time.
Practice anatomy no matter what. Even if you're doing like cartoon art, still practice IRL anatomy because I promise it will make your cartoon art infinitely better. That's definitely something I fell into. I was like, I'm doing comics and animation. Why do I need to learn IRL stuff? Did I just say IRL? God, I'm so online. But I promise learning like still life stuff will make your other work infinitely better. That's the other thing. I know I said earlier in this episode, like, don't just draw that. Obviously have a healthy mix of both. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think there's a balance of like things where it's like, oh, if you're doing cartoons, like drawing an apple in a vase, like that's probably not going to help you that much.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like anatomy is so versatile and so crucial to anything that has to do with like drawing things that are alive. Like, it's so important because if you don't learn anatomy, you're not going to know what proportions you can and cannot push and like where they can and cannot go. Because
like what's going to make sense and what doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Which it's so
for like,
oh, sorry. Keep going.
No, you keep going.
Okay, I was going to say it's so funny because even then like anatomy only goes so far cuz like you think about like the Powerpuff Girls, I'm not sure they even have a skeleton. Like I'll be real. They were made out of sugar and spice. I don't think they have bones, but like it still works as a cartoon. Of course, the same guy made Samurai Jack, and Samurai Jack is a lot closer to. God, I love that show, and that's a childhood one for me. Oh my gosh, yeah, I could talk about that show for hours, but anatomy very important. But like when developing your own style, there are like different things that will work out. But Powerpuff Girls kind of balances itself out with like how ridiculous it is. Like if it was, you know what, that's what it is like the style of Powerpuff Girls works with that level of non-anatomy, but if it was like an anime head on like a Powerpuff Girl body, it would look so insane.
Yeah, no, 100%, yeah.
So, yeah, anyway, small side tangent. Milky, you got your last tip?
So I feel like I've said most of the things I want to say. I guess I'll just do a quick recap where it's draw for the trash, get Pinterest.
Hell yeah.
And combined and hodgepodge art styles you love and appreciate and that, like, really have a strong impression on you. Because I have a strong impression on you for a reason. So just, like, take it and roll with it and learn from it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so.
Oh, boy.
I got a question for you.
Oh, God. Yep.
This is my favorite question to ask people because it literally, I feel like it has like no bounds. Like it has like no. It's fun. It's very open. Like I could talk off of this question for forever.
I feel like I'm gonna be so unprepared for this, but go for it.
No, we'll see. What would you just? Okay, so. Okay.
Wait, for context, in case anyone hasn't seen episode 1, at the end of every episode, we're swapping back and forth between asking each other a completely non-art related question.
Yeah.
So last episode, I asked Milky a question on whether she would rather live in an underground bunker or like in the sky with like nothing, and we both chose in the sky with nothing.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Okay, so, what is your dream happy place? Let me give you some, like...
happy place?
Yeah, so, it can be
your mother's bedroom.
Real... What'd you say? What did you say?
Nothing. Never mind.
Whoa, come back. What did you say?
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Did you say Among Us bedroom?
No, I said your mother's bedroom.
Oh! I thought you said Among Us bedroom.
You know what, now that you say it, though.
You're like, you know what? That's my answer. So, when I say dream happy place, it could be as real or as mythical and, like, made up as you want.
Ooh.
Like, it could be a place you've been before. It could be like your grandma's house, like all the nice smells and sights that you remember that make you feel like so happy and calm. Or it could be like you're on the moon and you like live on a farm with cows in space. Like, it could be anything. So, like, for example, for me, my dream happy place is an abandoned amusement park hidden under a forest of trees.
I'm sorry.
Listen, my dream happy place would be an amusement park, like an abandoned amusement park hidden under a forest of trees, and it's always nighttime, and the place is lit up by like string lights. I have the place to myself. Okay,
see, the string lights make it a lot cuter. The image that popped in my head when you said abandoned amusement park was like nothing short of a horror scene, and I was like, girl.
No, like it's like there's like a Ferris wheel and stuff, and like you have it all to yourself, and it's just like
this is very on brand for you.
Colorful. Exactly. It's like it's peaceful and colorful, and like you can still like, you know, get any kind of carnival foods you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's my dream happy place, and I have the whole amusement park to myself, and it's at night, and it's lit up by like big colorful lights and stuff.
Ooh, okay. So
that's my dream happy place.
The first thing that popped in my head, have you ever seen RWBY?
What on earth is that? What are you?
All right,
never
say? Mind. I think it's still ongoing, but I quit watching after a while. It's a online. You know what? We should watch like the first episode after this because it's so funny. But it is a like YouTube series done by this smaller company called Rooster Teeth. I really liked it when I was a kid, and they have such like insane, like unrealistic weapons, and they just kind of like go fight monsters. And I'm like, every time I think about
Ruby.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I guess it's slightly cut out. I heard like, why? And I was like, what did you say? And then you said Rooster Teeth, and in my head I was like, oh my gosh, the creator of Ruby.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I haven't seen it. I've heard it's amazing.
It's a show.
I've heard it's nostalgic.
It's very nostalgic. I will admit that. Like, I started rewatching it with a friend who hadn't seen it before, and my friend was like, this kind of sucks. And I was like, you're right. It's just nostalgic for me.
I have so many shows like that.
But I would love a world where I can just have some ridiculous weapon and maybe like a booster pack so I can like fly and I can just go like fight monsters with friends. I would love to do that.
Heck yeah.
That is my dream happy place, is fight monsters. That's it.
Period.
Awesome. Slay.
Yeah, I love asking that question because like it's so open-ended.
I feel like that's not even like a place though. That's just like a situation.
I mean, it's like a world. It's like a happy world.
I think if I were to choose like a place, being completely unoriginal, I would love to just be in Howl's Moving Castle.
Real.
That seems like
flying one.
Yes,
or the ground
just
one?
like, oh my gosh, like a flying house with like a cute little garden and also a door that can take me to any little village I want. That is definitely the dream.
Yeah. So it's like a maximalist version of your first question of either a house in the sky or a bunker.
Basically.
It's a mix of both, but it's in the sky.
I love being in the sky. Period. Like, I just love being really high up. I love heights so much. So, absolutely. Are you scared of heights?
When it comes to, like, those giant, like, rise and drop rides and, like...
I should take you
amusement parks
ziplining.
and stuff. I would love to do that.
Oh, actually? Hell yeah.
Roller coasters. Like, stuff like roller coasters don't scare me. I think every time I think of heights, I think of, like, rise and fall rides, which... make me want to die. They make me feel so gross.
That's so funny.
And weird. Like, I'm so open to stuff like, let's jump out of a plane? Cool, let's do it. Like, you want to go ziplining? Bet. I'm on my way.
SketchCast live episode in the sky.
Oh my gosh.
We jump out of a plane and do the podcast on the way down.
The audio quality.
Oh, it'd be fantastic.
Our poor editor.
The acoustics. The acoustics would be amazing.
Oh no.
Anyway, should we sign off?
Yes, I think we should. That'd be great.
You want to sign us off, or am I signing us off?
Oh! I don't know.
You know what? I signed us off last time, and I opened this time, so how about you sign us off?
How did we sign off last time?
You know what? I'm signing us off. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening to our episode 2 of the SketchCast podcast. We are very happy that you are here, and we are very excited for our next episode. We already have some crazy plans, and I am not lying because we are actually going to plan right after this.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for stopping by. We are still not wanted by the government, and that's not a lie. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye!